Hi, hello, good evening. Those of you who are joining in, if you can see me, hear me, give me a quick thumbs up so we can get going. Lovely Sunday evening, at least in Bangalore. It has been raining since 2 days and the weather is fantastic. Perfect time for runners and athletes and fitness enthusiasts. They must be loving what they're doing right now this weekend in Bengaluru. It's been a while. I know we took a small break. NEB Sports was a little tied down conducting the stadium runs in Bengaluru and Mumbai. Fantastic performances, great turnout and great support, and congratulations to all the finishers, all the winners, all the participants. Thank you all for joining in. Usha, Deepak, Ranjita, thank you all for coming in. Yeah, we're just waiting for our guests to come in. As you all know, this is NEB in Rendezvous, a talk show that we have every Sunday with some known personalities, eminent fitness enthusiasts, coaches and experts in the industry who come in and give their two bits and who share the experiences and who talk to us and who have been friends of NEB, who have been supporters of NEB and who would like to put out their lessons that they have learned and that have shaped them, and we put it out all for us and benefit from it. Thank you all to all the participants who have come on NEB in Rendezvous till now. And even today we have two fantastic people. I'm so proud to call them my friends also, who are going to be joining in and talking to us half an hour each. And my first guest is already ready. So without wasting much time, I would like to introduce Mr. Manik Dhodi to all of you. Manik, as you all know, is a runner from Delhi. He is an international masters athlete and he's a fitness coach. He has a health app which he runs and manages and administers, and he coaches a lot of people. He have a lot of mentees, and then he also is the real estate director real estate of Adidas India, with some global roles also. Great guy, good friend of mine, and he has been the ambassador of Aegis Federal Life Insurance New Delhi Marathon in the past years. And let's just get him and talk to him. Okay, adding. Hi, Shubham. Hi, Manik. Welcome to
Hi,
NEB.
Subi, how are you?
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much. With pleasure.
So I already gave an introduction of you to everybody, but I would like to probe a little more into all of those aspects. So Manik, how was your weekend? How is Delhi?
Weekend is still going on. It's not over yet. After this session, I still have a workout to go. I have to go for an event. And
wow, I forgot whom I'm talking with. You know what, guys? You call Manik in the morning, he will say, "Ha, jaldi baat kar lo. I have to go for a workout." Afternoon, if you call him, he'll say, "Okay, let's have a quick chat. I have to go for a workout." Now he's saying, "Okay, after this chat, I'm going for a workout." It's workout all the way, for you.
see, I make my life simple. Man. So I take my workouts in months. So I'll do a body weight workout at a different time. I'll do a at a different time. And in the evening is normally time for my. So yeah, that's what I have next.
Manik, yes, let's begin with your fitness journey. I mean, I know that it has taken a lot for you to reach from where you were to where you are right now. How do you feel to have achieved that and come to this place?
I'm a very strange animal. I always cherish the journey towards my target, and once I reach a particular target, I, probably within few hours, that charm of hitting the target goes away from me, because that's when I start introspecting. What did I do wrong, or what could have been done better? And then I start working on my next. But the journey so far has been good. I think this is also part of the journey, that my attitude. And it's fascinating. I think person, as a professional, and then as an athlete in this journey over the last few years. And I think it's still going on. I would think I would want this journey to continue the way it is for as long as possible.
I think
Am
you're
I
breaking a
audible?
little. I think you were breaking a little. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's anybody else also.
Okay.
But I lost you in the last sentence.
Okay, let me show off a bit.
See, you're sounding much better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So I would like you to repeat the last 30 seconds if you can, please.
Yeah, so I was saying that, it's been fascinating. I think I've evolved as a person, as a professional, as a parent, and as an athlete over the last few years in this journey. And I think that's the best part. And I would ideally want this to go on the way it is forever. Obviously, there'll be new aspirations that keep coming in your mind every now and then, which should be there, because I think hunger is important. As long as your hunger motivates you and does not give you stress, So in my case, the good thing is I give my own myself my own targets. Anybody else who's good or better or not better than me, anybody who makes that effort of being committed to his goal motivates me further. An athlete who's better than me will motivate me further. Fortunately, I don't get jealous of people. I don't get bothered if that person has done it. Why can't I do it? No, that's not what I feel. What I feel is even I should try. I should give my best. So it's been good so
Absolutely.
far.
That's a fantastic attitude to go with. I mean, it goes a long way, right? So much of positivity helps us and people around us.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
keeps life simple.
I know, exactly. No complications. Manik, you are working with one of the biggest sports conglomerates in the country. And how has that, how has been working with a sports company helped you in your running journey or in your fitness journey? Does it meet at any point at all?
My work profile has absolutely nothing to do with my running or fitness, but it's just that because it's a sports company and sports as well as the attitude of sportsmen, flows in everybody in the company. It's a mindset. When you want to be, when you are in a sports company, you will think like that because every product that you make, you are thinking about the user who's an athlete or who could be an athlete or could be just a runner or any sportsman. So there's a constant strive that you do to get better in everything. And at the same time, the other thing is that your attitude is simple, your philosophy is simple. Any target that has to be achieved, how and what will come in that journey of achieving the target is actually a part of the plan. It's a part of a strategy. So everything is very process driven. It's very strategy driven. The other benefit is that because I think I've got an additional encouragement because my company understands, and I'm fortunate that they also sponsor me for my international athletics, and even for a lot of my training requirements. So it feels blessed because you can manage your schedule in a manner that your work is not compromising at all. At the same time, you can get the best out of it to support your training needs. So yes, it works very well.
That's fantastic. That's also required, right? I mean, on one hand is your profession, on the other hand is your passion. You have to make sure that, both of them are balanced, apart from balancing
Absolutely.
home front.
Absolutely.
That's good. Manik, you and I were having this chat, remember, when we were talking about this, doing this today, and you were like very casually mentioning to me that I have heard people say, and the general attitude is that, we need medals. We need Olympic medals. We all need them. We all get happy and we are all over the place when we win Olympic medals. But then when it comes to actually getting there and doing it, we'll be like, okay, mere beti ko exam hai. Yeah, I have my tests or I have my homework, and everything just takes over that passion or that, love, that interim love or that temporary love that was seen in people. How, what do you, I mean, you were telling me a lot then also. I would like to share, I would like you to share with everyone else. So why did you
You,
bring that up? And it hurts you, I know.
it does, and off late it's been bothering me a bit too much because it's very easy. It's a typical human tendency to criticize people around us, or the government of your country, or any other leadership across, because that's the simplest thing to do, right? Rather taking the responsibility or stepping into that. And even during the Olympics, when people were following the Olympics, and while I get encouraged by not just people who are winning, but even the people who tried their best. Okay, irrespective of the fact whether they won a medal or they did not. But I respect their effort. But when people criticize that we don't have great athletes, or there were certain people who were criticizing the athletes also, that they are not good enough. They don't even know how to compete at a global level. So my question to them is, what have we done? When I talk to people around, when I talk to fellow parents, yes, the trend is improving today. But any sport, for majority of people, comes as the last option. It's like so I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, हमें ओलंपिक का मेडल चाहिए, but बेटा पहले होमवर्क कर लो.
I know.
The other case is the child has extra classes in school, so the child will probably go for extra classes. Or I remember in our school days, I used to freak out in the sports period. I used to love it absolutely, and so did quite a few boys and girls. But there were still quite a lot of people who would just walk around the running track, chatting with each other, and at the end of the year, they will still get a particular grade in physical training. Why? My question is not why are they getting that grade. My question is, why are they not motivated by somebody in the organization to take sport equally important? If you're worried about completing your classwork or homework, if you're worried about attendance in your academic sessions, if you're also worried about art sessions for that level, or music sessions, why is sport not giving equal respect? And why is this not a part of our culture? Why does this not come from a family? I, in my house, I go the other way around. I take books from my children. I try to snatch them, asking them, have you actually gone out today to play? But in most cases, it so happens that I have my Monday test coming. Now, there's a conversation happening on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and my child has a test on next Monday, for which she's already concerned right now. I mean, it's not a great system to have. There is something that people need to do. There's something that schools need to do. We as parents need to do. I'm sure in certain cases I've also seen wherein the school is taking the initiative, but the parents are going back to school and fighting with them that, why are you encouraging a child for sports so much? There is so much burden of academics. Who's going to take care of that? So, at least for example, some parent want their child to be a doctor, or maybe the child wants to be a doctor. Somebody should actually encourage the child to be, in some sport at least. It's so sad. I mean, how will you get Olympic medals? Please tell me. In such a big population, when you have probably the biggest population per square feet in the world, and we still slog. And and all these people, trust me, most of the people who got the medals are people who don't have the privileges in life. People
Yeah.
who have the privileges, people who have the comfort, are nowhere into getting anything. And cherry on the cake is the Olympics. Those people, they are not as perfectly blessed in their body by God, by most of us. I respect them more than anybody else. I mean, the effort that they are making. If somebody doesn't have his arms, I love that ad wherein they are showing that the guy is swimming in the water. I mean, I can't do that. I'm not capable of doing that. But that's probably because I've never made the effort.
Yeah.
So there is the answer. Sorry, I get a little over emotional in
Touchy.
this particular conversation. Yeah, but yeah, it is. It's something that's very touchy to me.
But Manik, it's a far-fetched thing now. You and I can sit, both of us are parents, and we can sit and discuss about, how our kids need to be out there and build on their interests. And those interests could be anything. And you also have sports background. I also come with a sports background, and we have this innate love towards sports. And we would love for them to come up and take sports as well. But then with the current situation now, even that little bit of hope, I can't see it anywhere for some more time.
See, again, it's about attitude. If you want to do things, you'll find ways to do it. Yes, if our child is into basketball for last 1 year, he or she wouldn't have been able to go out and do that. Like early last year, we were not able to go out and run because my society was sealed for 2 months. I did not step out. But then what did I do as an alternate? I focused so much on my strength training that when I started running, I was a significantly faster runner than what I was 6 months back. So, if you have that attitude, you will find a ways to benefit from that any situation. Because the attitude is simple. You have to do it. If that's the attitude you have, you find ways to do it. So somewhere or the other, yes, it's a temporary bottleneck which we all are facing right now. But then there are ways to work on, improving our body capability or body fitness level, so that when we actually go get the opportunity to go out and do it, we can do it. So my younger one, she loves playing basketball, and she was training before the lockdown happened. In last 1 year, obviously she's not gone out to play, but I encourage her for running. So alternate days she goes out and runs for about 30 minutes. She does body weight training for kids, whatever is permitted in the house for about 20 to 25 minutes, and that is somewhere strengthening her. So I'm sure when she starts going and playing basketball again, she'll be a better athlete than what she is right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think she's on the right path as of now.
I hope so.
Yeah, with you in the house, I'm sure.
I don't know. So my idea is that I like to encourage people. I don't like to put pressure on them. Although I keep telling my elder one that, she's already 5'7". I keep telling her you are blessed with a beautiful height. You can do wonders in the basketball team. But her focus is not in that. Beyond her academics, she's into painting and bakery. So I can encourage her. So what she does for me is that she spends some time, about 30 minutes in her daily fitness.
Wait,
but she's not
did you say she's 5'7"?
She's 5'7" plus now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's direct entry into the India team.
That's exactly what I keep telling her, that, your height is not giving any benefit to the country. So maybe I have not motivated her enough, but let's see. Maybe someday.
Wow, wow. Best wishes to her. I hope all her dreams come true. Talking a little bit more about, doing this for our country and Olympics and Paralympics, I do see around that there is a lot of change in the attitude, the way people look at sports now, track and field, especially athletes, the kind of effort they have put in, the kind of backgrounds they come from.
Right.
All of these are being noticed, and they have been noticed, especially this year. I have seen that, I think, because of social media or because of exposure that we have now, whatever the reason. How do we make use of a situation like this now? I mean, it's all there, right? Like we say, garam hai hathoda maar do types. So what so what do we do to inoculate this sports theater into all our people and actually make sure that this excitement and these hopes are not temporary?
I think if whenever you start a new practice or a new habit, it takes some time to become part of your routine.
Yeah.
And as much as we would talk about sport being a part of your life, till the time it actually becomes a part of your routine, just as you have to wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, take bath, have your breakfast, go to school or go to work, till the time you know that this is a part of your daily routine, which means whether you're going to work or you're going to school, you have to spend X time in your workout or your training or your sports. So my kids, when they go to school, during school days, it was a fixed routine in the evening. After a certain amount of time, they have to finish their, once they're done with their food in the afternoon, rest a bit and studies a bit, and they have to go and play outside. Till the time they finish their studies and play and everything, I don't allow them to even switch on the TV for 5 minutes. So all this is a part of your routine, but it is unfortunate still, while I said that I have to tell them that only if you do your finish your academics as well as you go down and play, will I allow you to watch TV. In a way, I'm bribing them, right? I'm showing them so that's again a wrong example, but that's the reality. Ideally, how it should be, everybody should be motivated enough. And motivation will happen when we as a society do it, at home as well as in the school. And then it becomes a part of a culture. But at the same time, we have to do it ourselves. So, when I started, we both know about it, but for the benefit of audience, when I started teaching healthy habits to my children. That's when I started practicing those healthy habits again. You know, because I wanted to lead by example. You can't teach your children what you don't practice yourself. So, you know, this should be a routine, and that's how it is in our house. My wife is into painting, and that's but she still does her workout in addition to her office. And I think she's probably a better example than me. She does her office work. She has a very demanded office job. She gets time. She makes out time for her painting because she's passionate about it. At the same time, she does not miss a workout 4 to 5 days in a week. And I'm not sure if my workout is more intense or her workout is more intense, but she does all this religiously, and she's a fantastic example in the house. So it's again about attitude. You know, if you have the right attitude, you find ways to do that. So lockdown or no lockdown, there is no excuse for not doing your workout or not indulging into sports.
Absolutely. And I think once this attitude sets in, once it becomes a habit, it'll automatically flow into your lifestyle and people around you and among your friends, family. I have seen so many people who have come in alone as participants in our events first, and then, you know, next event they have a group.
True.
So that's what we want to see, right? And that's exactly how we can spread the awareness of fitness.
Absolutely. That's the best way of doing it, because, you know, there is something positive that you are doing. And if you're doing something positive, it's best to spread it. You know, very recently, while in our training session also, there are a couple of people who approached us after training with us for a while that I want to enroll my spouse as well. And it was a fascinating feeling that, wow. So, you know, that's in a way a very good appreciation for the kind of training that person is doing. Because if I'm getting the benefit of training, why don't I, you know, include my partner in the same thing? Same goes for sports. And you gave the perfect example. And that's the reason you have created some events for kids, because that came with a lot of public demand that you have marathons and 10Ks for the seniors. Why don't you introduce short runs for the kids? And it's a fantastic story. I mean, I absolutely love it.
True that. Manik, talking a little bit more about you, you know, we all, those of us who know you, we know that you have had a fantastic fitness journey, which is actually inspirational, and there is no stopping. I mean, you have not stopped. I don't see content that has come in. I mean, bus ho gaya types. I mean, or hai, or karna hai. I mean, it's going on and on, your fitness journey.
Normal is boring.
So I'm sure you must have also come across pleasant and unpleasant experiences in this journey, right? So I would like you to share a little bit of your experiences with, you know, we have this audience who are a mix of pros and amateurs. So maybe it will come out as a positive story for someone and inspire them. So whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, I would like you to share a little bit about your journey.
I think I don't find anything really unpleasant, because if there's anything that disappoints you or you fail, you actually learn from that experience. But you know, at times what happens when we train and when we train for a particular target or a particular race, there has to be no shortcut in that. And you know, a lot of people, they come up to us and they're like, I want to finish a race, and this particular race in this particular timing. And my question to them in most cases is, in fact, in all cases is, what is your current timing? Why are we not talking about improving from where you are today? Why do you want to give yourself a burden of achieving a target which may or may not be logically possible? Or it might be possible, but it might take more time, because it's best to always work on what is your current fitness level or current timings of a particular race. Once that is your base, you start improving upon that, and whatever timings comes in your next race is actually a byproduct of this journey. But you know, a lot of people have started understanding it, but I think most people don't. What I particularly feel sad about is that every time we finish a race, every time we finish a run, especially in these you know, the public gatherings, beat your races, beat the ADHM, beat any of the races, you know, I feel sad when people ask each other, in how much time did you finish? And I feel sad because my question to them is, how was it? Did you finish strong? And even when I ask them, did you finish strong? The answer is, they're telling me their timing. Whereas what I mean to ask is, Did you finish strong means I hope you did not get any injury. I hope you finished comfortably. I hope you felt as strong when you finished the race, when you started the race. But unfortunately, across this country, most of the people, they talk about timing. And that is how we judge a person, and that is the kind of stress that even people have. And, it's important for everyone to realize that is the least important criteria. In fact, that's not even the criteria. By doing so, we are only burdening ourselves. It's like when our parents used to tell us in school days, look at your cousin, he gets 99 out of 100 in that subject. And I was like, but I get better marks in maths and English. They were like, but he or she is overall topper. I said, yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know.
I recently used this on my son, and you will be surprised with the answer that I got. I told him, see, look at your friend. I mean, you've done so well, but he can't rap. I can rap. I can rap like Eminem. I mean, fantastic comparison. Yes.
Fantastic. Yes. I hate to do comparison because I feel I might have my own flaws myself. I might be doing it sometime, but I feel that you lose the importance of that particular individual to whom you are telling and comparing that person with somebody. And we do that with our children also. Both my kids are very different personality. My elder one is over disciplined in studies. My younger one is sharp, but she enjoys more. She's innocent and chubby. But there's absolutely no comparison. I mean, they are two different personalities. They both enjoy the way they do things, the way they are, and we enjoy that journey. I mean, I don't remember either me or my wife telling either of our children that learn from the other one, see how she is. Whereas when I was growing, I had this immense pressure of not just my real sister, but all my cousins. Most of them were toppers, and I was like, it was crazy. So I don't like to do that. Even in my office, when I evaluate my team and I talk about their strengths first, and when I tell them that their area of improvement, I give them examples in a manner that they don't feel disrespectful. They don't feel they're inferior than anybody, because everybody has his own strengths and areas of improvement. I mean, weak areas are probably the best areas. I mean, I'm sure when my boss does my appraisal, he also finds my own areas of improvement. And if he gives up, or if he tells me, look at that person, learn from him, I'll probably feel miserable. So if we don't want ourselves to be treated like that in our office or in our childhood, why do we do that? So, I feel sorry for people almost, every time when this kind of conversation comes up, that, I mean, just enjoy what you are, enjoy your own journey, enjoy what you're doing. I mean, we all know the kind of effort we are putting. If after the effort, and then the next thing is that when we overdo, at times people get injuries also. And the worst thing is when they get injury just before an event which they have been really training for. You need a heart to accept that. You really need a heart to accept that. But the better it is that you accept reality and move on.
True. Right, Manik, we have another 5 minutes left before Corina joins us. So,
sure.
I would really like to ask you quickly, actually 2 more questions. My last question will be based on how well you answered the first question. We at NEB Sports, we have been doing a lot of virtual runs, and we introduced Run to the Moon, and we managed to have NTM this year. We managed to do the Aegis Federal Life Insurance New Delhi Marathon with all the best practices in place to check the condition of the virus. What are your 2 cents on people wanting or not wanting to, how does a runner, how does someone who has been training the entire year choose his events? And our main intention is to spread the awareness of fitness, and we made sure that we had an activity going even through the lockdown. Last year, March 2020 was when the entire world shut down, but we didn't. We continued to give activities for people to do even at home. So we really hope that, it came of some use and it has helped them all. But today we have a lot of options, right? A lot of virtual runs going on, and you can go out and do your runs. So how, according to you, and you're a fitness coach, so you must be also mentoring your, a lot of runners. So how does one choose?
runs actually mean a lot because, in the absence of these virtual runs, you don't really focus target. So even the last marathon that you had in the New Delhi marathon, it was savior for me because I knew that it would happen. I was doing a focus training, and there are lot of people who still do that. And even right now, there are a lot of runners who come up to us and they ask about even the virtual events because this is the new reality. You can't help. Your virtual events are a very fine example of telling everyone that life moves on. And irrespective of the situation, we have a solution. So if COVID or no COVID, the event is going to happen. The race is going to happen. Obviously, if you do a physical event, you'll take care of the safety precautions and your team did a fantastic job. So I think you should continue doing what you're doing. I'm sure you have some budget constraints in that also. But you guys did a fabulous job. And trust me, I think runners want these virtual events. In the absence of a virtual event, they actually don't really have a target. So when you don't have a target, what will you train for? So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, soon. We are coming in December with the India Open Stadium run. So we'll be seeing all of you out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, thank you so much, Manik, for joining us. And I almost forgot. I wanted to ask you about your experience at the International Masters Championship that you attended in 2019. I mean, that comes very close to someone we know who has attended an international event. And, when you look at all these international athletes, you actually know what you have to do and where you're lacking, right?
When I went there, and obviously when I reached there, I used to feel as if I'm looking at superheroes over there. There. But when I started the heat and I started qualifying for the final race, I realized I don't need to come under that pressure because they are here for what they have trained for, and I'm here for what I've trained for. And especially after I qualified the heats and the final race, all those the other teams, I had to just tell myself that there is a long gap, but you have reduced the gap over the years because of the training. And all I had to focus was my own training and my own targets. And when I did that, the pressure was off me, and I was able to give my performance. And obviously, I came 5th in the Asian finals in my race. And obviously, there's still a lot to be done because most of these athletes have been full-time athletes since very long time. Even today, a lot of them are full-time athletes, so they get more time. But that's okay. I've chosen this path for myself. I'll continue my job because that's my biggest passion. And along with that, I put out time to train for it, and that's the beauty of it.
On that very positive note, Manik, thank you and congratulations for everything that you have been doing, and all the best for everything that you intend to do, plan to do, even with your health and happiness app. And thank you so much for giving us your time and sharing all your experiences with us. And I'm sure everyone who has been seeing this and hearing this, who will do it at a later stage, also will benefit. Thank you so much
for having. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. So yes, that was Manik Dhodi, as you all know, runner from Delhi, an international masters athlete, fitness coach, and director real estate at Adidas India. So quickly, let me get my next guest. Another fantastic human being, a great runner, and a hearty welcome, Corina. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Congratulations. Spillover from last week, you were fantastic at the stadium run in Mumbai, and given the weather conditions, given that you were the only woman running with so many other men on the track. Of course, there were women in the 12 hours category also, but still, you were fantastic on the track. So congratulations.
Thank you for that.
So Corina, as you all know, is also an impact manager at NAS India Goal. A little bit more about that we will be talking later. And more than that, I'm super overwhelmed, super excited about her running all by herself. And, she was in this own, her own world, and she was fantastic. She was like beach waves, consistent, yeah, through and through.
Thank
Right,
you.
Corina, tell us a little bit about your experience from last week. How was it in that heat, in that rain, and there was so much going on, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm living in Mumbai, so we're, kind of used to the heat. Although it would have been better if the event would have been today, because today is, every now and then we have showers, so that's really nice.
So I think it was just that weekend when the weather decided to play spoil sport, right? Before that,
Absolutely.
also it was raining.
Yeah, it was like a window of few days with hot and humid and a bit of sunny weather.
Yeah.
It has been a good experience. So actually, like one of my targets for this year was, running 100 kilometers or more, which I actually did. So in that sense, I'm really happy and satisfied. But I also feel, there would have been more possible. Like after 20 hours, I got slight pain in my knee and really had to slow down. So I'm a little bit, not very satisfied about that. But, at least it gives me an idea where my weakness is and, where I have to put a little bit more effort. So 21 hours is possible. 24, I need to work a little bit more on that.
So what was exactly going on in your mind during those loops that you were taking, Corina?
During the loops,
sometime in the night, or sometime at some point your mind.
No, actually, the night was really great. I had a lot of support. Actually, we have a running club here in Tilak Nagar who actually, in February, participated with one team, and this time they came with 6 teams. So every loop they were cheering me. Also, I'm a Pinkerton ambassador, so I was running in a Pinkerton T-shirt, and every Pinkerton runner I passed, cheered my name, and there were 2 groups that, for I think like 16 hours kept on cheering me every time, I passed along, and then there were other people, so that was really great, and that
that's the
also
most
makes
part, right?
that you have to run for them. Like if they're saying, "Oh, who's going?" then you just have to push through. So I mean, there's a lot of focus actually on the running itself. Like, in the beginning, things are going pretty well, so you can interact with some of the other runners. But then after a while, you get into this zone. And so actually what I did was I did loops of like 5 kilometers, and then I took like a short break. So that's how I divided the 24 hours like for myself, because I also didn't want to walk. I wanted to continue running. So I had to come up, with some way of doing that, and that worked actually quite well. Yeah.
Yes, Corina, like you and I discussed on the phone, right? It was quite alarming to see not many women came up and participated in 12 hours or 24 hours. And, we all know that there are a lot of capable women out there who are fantastic runners. But what's happening? What is stopping them, or what is holding them back? And what do they need to do?
Okay, I'm not very sure if it's only something that they need to do. Of course, in Mumbai this time, Priti Lala, didn't participate here, who is, the absolute queen of the 24 hours, I think, in Mumbai, and she just ran in Bangalore. So I think that's why she didn't participate. So actually that was why I was the only woman. But I think, besides being 24 hours, it being a physical challenge, I think there are also like a lot of other like barriers, because, preparing for a 24 hours, it needs an investment, actually both in terms of preparation, because, you need to do that mileage, you need to invest all those hours. But, it's also the event itself. It is 24 hours. And it is 24 hours, but there's also travel, there's the day before, there's of course also the day after. So it's actually perhaps 72 hours. And that's quite an investment for for women. So I'm lucky. I don't have a family, so in that sense, I'm lucky. So I can decide whatever I do with my time. I can decide whatever I do with my money. And I think for a lot of women, there are still quite a number of, restrictions when it comes to taking time for themselves. When there's a family at home, when the event is happening in another city than the one that they're living. Perhaps there's also less like financial freedom. I can decide to spend the money on whatever I want or need. But for a lot of women, that's not, that's a difference between men and women. And, I think that that's also something that we need to, take into consideration. And I think also, like a lot of women are also not used to run at odd hours. Like running at night can be quite a barrier because many women actually don't do that. So I think like, the team relays that you're doing, like also in the night, where women can show up with a team, it's very encouraging. And I saw also like here from Tilak Nagar that there's more women, who can take that first step and start participating in the relay. And, I hope that, with them seeing me running, first in the 12 and now the 24, that they also start thinking like, perhaps it's also something that I can do. But, perhaps we really need to think about what we can do to help women to take that step. Yeah.
So how do we address this, Corina? You are a woman yourself, you're a runner yourself, and this also merges with my next question, which I'm going to ask you. I was going to ask you about the very general topic, women and running.
Yeah. So also in Pinkerton, when we talk about like women and running, we talk a lot about like the health aspects. And for me, there's much more beyond it. It's about women taking time like for themselves, to go out and
be with yourself.
Running. Normally, if women are in the street, they're in the street because usually they go for shopping or they go somewhere else. They go to work. They go somewhere with the children. But when do women actually occupy the street with something as frivolous as running? So for me, running is very much about women's empowerment, taking time with yourself, for yourself, feeling good about it, but also like, actually getting to places where many of them haven't been, like, in Pinkerton, that's one of the things that we notice, whenever we say like, okay, let's run from here, to Chembur, or, let's go to Bhakti Gardens or to Juhu. A lot of women actually come out and do that, and actually, explore the city and, can really feel that the city is also theirs. So for me, like running or sport for that matter, it is more than just like, being fit and being healthy. Yeah.
Absolutely, Corina. It's not just about running, it's about being overall fit, right? Having a healthy mind, having a healthy body. We would really like to see this go across, see this spread across more and more women, and we really hope they can treat their health as the priority, and we really hope that they all come out and start participating, and not just in running. Maybe you need not be a runner to be mentally and physically fit. There are so many other ways. And what are your pro tips? What are your pro tips for all these women? And give us some steps to get out of our shell and work for ourselves.
I mean, I'm not a pro, and I also don't do all this because I'm also doing triathlon, so I'm also cycling and swimming, so I'm not only doing running. And for me, it's also not just because I want to be fit, but actually just because I like it. I can't like go a day without you know, like running, cycling, swimming, yoga, or doing something else. So I think, like my tip, and you know, perhaps I'm preaching for the choir here, because probably all the people who are watching now are already active in sport. But I think it's most important that you find something that you like to do. You know, if like your workouts or your runs become like an assignment, then it's very difficult, no? So I think find something that you like, whether, you know, it can also be yoga, badminton. You know, I also every now and then still play football. You know, just go out and find something that that works for you. And I think variation is also good. I'm not a very big fan of doing like workouts or like, you know, doing strength exercises. So I think that's why triathlon also suits me well. So, you know, one day I go cycling, other day I do my running. I'm really looking forward to start sea swimming again. You know, so doing those like, yeah, different things. And, you know, especially for women, I think like the Pinkerton groups like are really great. Because, you know, you just come together. I think the activities are in that sense like tailor-made. You know, women don't have a lot of time. So, you know, our activities are 45 minutes, an hour, you know, and then we all leave. You know, there's not hours, you know, slow start, slow end. You know, it's very like to the point, you know, and find women then who, you know, have like-minded ideas. And I think the most important thing is, you know, don't feel guilty if you make time for yourself. You know, teach your husband how to make chai and breakfast, and you know, let him just figure out how to deal with the children. No, because that happens. I know stories, you know, from women who say, you know, I have to go home because if my child wakes up, my husband doesn't know what to do. So, you know, I think that kind of support like would really help like women. And I think also women, you know, feeling that, you know, you have the right to go out there and exercise and be on the road and claim the city with your bicycle or running. Yeah.
Absolutely true, and completely agree with you, Corina. Thank you for speaking my mind.
Okay. You want to come and talk to your husband?
Sorry?
You want me to come and talk to your family about
No, that's absolutely covered.
no
issues
good,
there.
Yeah.
So, Corina, our next event is in Delhi. You know, India Open Stadium Run is what we are planning to, not planning, it's announced and we are already getting registrations. How do you want to see people make best use of events like this? And, you know, NEB Sports also came up with a lot of virtual runs and lockdown challenges, and we made sure that, you know, we were keeping ourselves and everybody else also active.
Yeah.
And that helped them when the virtual runs were introduced, and that helped them when the on-ground live events were also introduced. So how do you think people should make use of these events?
Yeah. No, I think first, I mean, like you were one of the big, like, you know, companies that really helped us getting through like the lockdowns. So I think, you know, the concept of all the virtual events is really great. Like for me personally now, you know, there's nothing better than a live event. You know, unless, you know, I've now progressed a bit, you know, it should really be like a challenging event. Things like, you know, Run to the Moon, I participated, and that's really like, you know, as a group event in which we all participate. And I think, you know, what I just said about women, like, I think for women, those virtual events have really been great. And they are still great. Like, they're very popular in my Pinkerton group. You know, because women can do it at their own pace, at their own time. And they really feel connected. They are proud of the achievements. They show their certificates. They show the T-shirts. So I think in that sense, especially for women, I see that as a great, how do you call it? Like a great initiative. In our group in Pinkerton, we're also now looking at, you know, how do we get everyone back, you know, like on the streets. Like a lot actually went into walking, actually during the lockdown. So how do we get everyone back. And I think, you know, the registration for the NEB, the half Mumbai Marathon just started. And yeah, we've really managed to get everyone, you know, back in the registering. So we have a list of about 30. And, you know, that really helps us now to start preparing, you know, to challenge people and to increase their mileage and their timing. So, you know, although the virtual events are great, personally, I think there's nothing better than a live event.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Corina, someone here has posted a comment, Amit Yadav. He wants to know, how did you prepare for your 24 hours run? What was your training like? What was your prep like?
Okay, it was not like the ideal preparations. So actually, yeah, during the lockdown here, actually took up to, I think, the beginning of June. So I've been like practicing on my balcony. I also did a virtual backyard on my balcony for 140 kilometers. I managed like spot running here on my balcony.
I was just going to mention that in a little bit, but thank you.
Yeah. And actually, I think I'm one of the few people who says that spot running is actually much easier. So here I managed 140, but then when it, you know, came to the reality, I got up to 19. But okay, so during the lockdown, I kept on, you know, doing quite a lot of running and strength. And then, you know, I went outdoors, I think, and that was also the moment I registered for the 24 hours. So it was like about 2.5 months. Yeah, so I just tried to increase my mileage. Then at the same time, there was also like another event happening, which was actually a triathlon organized by Powerton. And like one of my goals for this year was also to do a 100-mile triathlon. But since that category actually didn't exist, you know, they pushed me actually like, you know, why don't you do a full triathlon? So 2 weeks before the stadium run, I did like a full triathlon. And of course, I also had to practice for that. So I did a combination of running and cycling. And then started tapering only, I think, like a week before. Yeah, and then after that, I had the recovery and then again a tapering. So I didn't have, you know, as much like running kilometers, but mileage in my legs. But you know, I knew my endurance was quite good. So like I said, I managed to sustain 16 hours in a triathlon. So I thought, you know, it's only 8 hours extra for 24 hours. Yeah.
You were fantastic. I can vouch for it. I can be the witness and tell it to everybody out there.
Thank you.
So what is your usual work, home, and fitness balance looks like, and how do you bring everything together?
Well, as I said, you know, my home situation is very easy. So, you know, the balance is actually my workout balance, and workout and work balance. So, you know, actually I'm in that sense, like what Manik also said, the type of work that I'm doing, I'm working for like an organization that empowers girls through sport. You know, so the fact that I'm working out, you know, also share that with colleagues because, you know, we all need to have that mindset, you know, that sport like is a good thing and that through sport, you know, not only get fit, but, you know, girls also learn all kinds of life skills. You know, sport is also an opportunity to challenge gender norms. So yeah, the organization really supports that. So yeah, in the morning I do like running, cycling, hopefully soon swimming also. And in the evening it's usually I do, you know, either I walk with some women from Pinkerton or I do core workouts or, you know, some other intensive trainings. Yeah, or I just go out with friends and drink coffee. Yeah.
Nice,
That's
nice,
that's
very
the
nice.
workout. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
So Corina, this is my last question to you. We have another 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Based on our performances, I'm sure you saw the Olympics and the Paralympics, and especially the Paralympics, right? And they were fantastic with the limited abilities, the kind of medals that they have brought in, the kind of events that they participated in is fantastic. And this has inculcated the need for the importance that we need to give for sports, especially in schools and educational institutions. What do you have to tell to all the parents out there, all the teachers out there, all the authorities out there?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so like Manik told a lot about like the attitudes of parents. So I don't have in that sense a lot to attribute to it or to contribute to that, except that, there's more than academic performance. I think research also shows that, and in that case, like a lot of women who are in leadership positions have actually done sport. So I think we should really look at, what the benefits of sports are. And, actually, we just had a long discussion yesterday with my colleagues that sport is actually, the best tool to teach children life skills.
Absolutely, well said.
Whether it's like, self-awareness, communication, problem solving, like critical thinking, all these things come back in sport. Just seeing sport as that it's healthy for children, it's very limited. So I think, let's say parents and the system should actually look actually look different at sport and don't see it as something which is a luxury or is extra, but is actually essential for, the development of the citizens in the country. And I think, once that has been embraced and that investment is made, then it will be easier to get also those medals, because, there are two different things. One is you can, focus on the talented, youth and give them all the opportunities that they need to win medals. But, like for me personally, I would, really like to see it more at the grassroots level. Can we make sure that all the children get like decent physical education? Can we make sure that all the girls in India, have access to sport? And, not only when they're like 5 or 6 or 7, but, actually their whole life long, because then we can also stop with Pinkerton. With Pinkerton, we pick up women who have actually already dropped out of sports. But, can we embrace sport, see it as something which is necessary and not as a luxury, support everyone in sport. And then I think the medals will come then.
Yes.
You can't just have medals if you don't invest in sport. Yeah.
Absolutely true that. Thank you so much, Karina. On that very happy and positive note, we would like to say thank you and goodbye to you for now until we meet again, until we see you again.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. Congratulations and best wishes for everything that you're doing. Please stay safe.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Karina.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
So that was two fabulous people, Corina and Manik, who shared all their experiences and life lessons with us. Hope you all enjoyed the last 1 hour. I certainly did. And we'll see you again next Sunday with more guests, more topics, and more interactions. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay fit, everyone. Thank you so much. This was NEB in Rendezvous once again. Thank you.